What is up? My name is Garrett Yogurt on Twitter, YOOGRRTT. Thank you so much for tuning into the Notation YouTube channel. Welcome back to another album review. Today we're talking about Check, Danny fucking Brown. This is the legend himself. Probably, for those who do not know, I do not make videos about Danny Brown. One, he only makes an album every like 2 to 3 years. Two, it's just not something that I've been doing. Three, he's my favorite rapper, like, ever. Period. End of statement. Always has been. Always will be. I got the opportunity to see him back at the end of October of this year, and that was like my 7th time seeing him live. So, on his 5th studio album with You Know What I'm Saying, this is definitely something I've been anticipating for years and years and years on end. It feels like last album, Atrocity Exhibition, was my favorite album of 2016, and also just kind of put a beautiful bow, I feel like, on the masterful, just legendary status that I feel like Danny Brown will hold the test of time, because the beauty of his music is I feel that as time progresses, as we get into different areas of rap music, etc., Danny Brown definitely does age well. Danny Brown definitely stands the test of time, and I feel like over time people have gained a lot more appreciation. He's always had a great cult following, but I feel like the appreciation factor is actually a lot more vocal in 2019 than it was prior, and I do love that. I do love just like whether it's his reality show or his appearance on The Cave that was recent, or just, I don't know, he just has a good personality, and I think people love him and will continue to love him, and I am one of those people as well. But going into this album, I got the sense that because this was going to be executive produced by Q-Tip, this was going to be something that was different, but I didn't know what type of different that would be. And you know, when you look at previous projects, you had Triple X, which was kind of like the mainstream breakout hit. Before that, you had like Bracken Brown, you had The Hybrid, a couple tapes maybe even before that, and you know, there's just something about Danny Brown's early stuff that when you see what happens on Triple X and then going forward, you definitely kind of get a different sound in a lot of senses, but it's still the same clever ass wordplay, and that is where the technicality of Danny Brown, the ability to just make a commonality in rap music, something that people talk about all the time, and make it said in the most clever way ever said before. Like, Danny Brown does that 10 times over on this project, on his previous projects. Like, the lyrical genius of Danny Brown is underestimated, but I don't think it should ever be understated. That is for damn sure, because it's a work of art, man. It's a work of fucking art every single time that this guy touches the mic or just pen to a paper to just construct a sentence. Like, it's levels and levels of like deep shit, I feel like, and I love it to a fucking T every single time. And you know, going into this, like I said, as this man gets older, we are going to see something different from him, hopefully. I think that's just how it goes. As someone who's probably, you know, on his way up to like 40 almost, you know, that's kind of crazy. And, you know, even with Kanye West is a great example. Like, he's somebody who's over 40, multiple kids. People are now giving him shit for a new album that's like a gospel album. I'm not going to review that thing. It's not for me. But to say that an artist is like almost 50 in Kanye's like sense, almost like to say that he's wrong for trying to do something new or progressing with his age, progressing with his like experience and his perspective, I think that's foolish. I think that's foolish as an audience member, because overall, like, I don't want Danny Brown to keep doing the same thing. As much as I do enjoy those like wild ass things, I think that there's storytelling and there's like other parts of Danny Brown's music that isn't just the hyped up, let's take Molly and just go fucking wild. Well, of course I love that, and that's probably the root of like my initial fandom. Over time, I do think that just the stories that Danny Brown can tell, whether it's about picking up Wonder Bread or just like the great story that he tells at the end of Dirty Laundry on this album, like, or just the whole like story of Dirty Laundry is pretty fucking crazy when you look at all the imagery and whatnot. You know, I appreciate it. I think that is what a true artist needs to do, is grow with the times, grow with what they're doing, and also take in every single day as an opportunity to just express yourself in a different way. I know that sounds corny, but Danny Brown really just hits that out of the park, and maybe it is because he does take his time with his projects and is allowing himself to to listen to it over and over and really put a fucking exclamation point at the end of each sentence that is a song on his paragraph that is an album that he does put out every so often. Like, if he only has one fucking essay every single so often, like, they're pretty much a great hitting record. Like, this guy's batting average is insane if you ask me to put numbers on every single thing. And going into this, I was excited to see what would change up, and that is actually the lead single first track on this album, which is changed up. Track number 2 is Theme Song. Track number 3 is Dirty Laundry, lead single. Track number 4 is 3 Tears featuring Run the Jewels. 5, Belly of the Beast featuring Obong Jayar. 6, Savage Nomad. 7, Best Life. 8, You Know What I'm Saying featuring Obong Jayar again. 9 is Negro Spiritual featuring JPEG Mafia. 10, Shine featuring Blood Orange. And 11 is Combat. This is a short album. It really is under 30 minutes or just above 30 minutes. It's not like, that was probably the biggest disappointment when I looked at like the track listing and was like leading into this actually coming out. That was like something that I was going into being like, damn, the shortest Danny Brown project pretty much ever, I think, if not like in a long ass time. And as someone who's feeling like they need to be selfish and just be like, I want as much Danny Brown as possible because I know it's not going to happen again for a long time, I almost get a different feel for that. I almost feel like there is a place where Danny Brown could put out an album next year, and there is a place where Danny Brown could be making more music and being a little bit more expressive. And he has compared his music to a fine wine where he does want it to age properly, and I just acclaimed him for being able to do that at the very beginning of this review. But there's something just so pure to a Danny Brown project that maybe like there is something to the time and, you know, letting it wait and letting it percolate and letting it simmer and then just coming out with a fire-ass meal. But I can't lie and say that the end of this album on its first listen made me want more and wishing that there was more. So that was something I had to get my whole mind around. And this is like also as someone who is a huge fucking Danny Brown fan. So once I understood the project that he was putting out, once I understood what he was going for, over time I actually really did enjoy this project a lot more than I was kind of worried and I wasn't going to. And you know, the replayability of this thing is something that's been super interesting. I think that the project itself holds more ground than a lot of the single tracks do, so I haven't been finding myself going back to too many individual tracks. You know, I do enjoy the 3 Tears in a Bucket, even I don't know, like Savage Nomad's a great song. I think Combat is honestly one of the best songs as far as just pure rap and hip hop go, that has such an old school feel and has so much to say, with the team up of, I believe it's Q-Tip doing some vocals as well as Consequence, which is pretty cool because Consequence is someone who did a lot of early production with not only A Tribe Called Quest but Kanye West and the Good Music label, and I just think that's such a cool thing to just kind of have there. It's like a seal of approval. There really isn't like a feature shown on that. That's why I wasn't listed, but I did want to shout that out because I just thought that was really cool. But as time goes on and the more I do listen to this, I do find myself enjoying songs like Best Life and just finding like so much appreciation for the statements that he's making and just like the positivity and optimism that like comes across right there. And then you go right into, from track 7, which is Best Life, you get into track number 8, which is You Know What I'm Saying, and that just has some of the like most Danny Brownisms like to a T, but it's like a very repetitive song where it almost does come across like it is some interlude. But again, by the 8th listen or whatever, like over time I just find myself just being like, you know what I'm saying. And it was something that I was worried about that was going to be kind of like obnoxious or repetitive or something that would become stale, but nah, like it just works. And that's something that is like infectious about Danny Brown. That is something that is so beautiful about like the artistry, is that you don't always catch every single line because there is so much layers to the man's music, and it's just something that I feel like over and over as you listen, you just catch more lines or just find more hilarious things to just kind of sucker punch you in the jaw and just be like, is this man the funniest guy alive? Is he? Because the way he's able to tell jokes through his rap music, and the way he's able to like use rhyme patterns and rhyme schemes to like tell these elaborate stories that end up having crazy punchlines, like I feel like he's just a master, man, as far as a writing just a writing master. I don't know what the fuck that would be, an auteur. You want to give Danny Brown the auteur medal? Let's give Danny Brown the auteur medal. The 2019 and now in rotation auteur medal of the year goes to Danny Brown. What the fuck?
that was. But standout tracks for me, definitely. I do enjoy how it starts off with Change Up. Dirty Laundry is a fire ass track that is just gets better and better. Again, this whole album gets better and better as you listen to it, so do not just dismiss it after the first go around. 3 Tiers is amazing. Belly of the Beast has great production. Savage Nomad has great production. I want to shout out to Playa Hayes, who did produce that track, and he's from Riverside, California, and that's near where I grew up, so just wanted to shout out a local legend. And he teamed up with Danny on the last album, and that honestly that was a cool ass team up, and that was kind of where I first took notice to Playa Hayes, and then had to go and do my fucking research and do a little history lesson. But that's a good ass guy, so definitely shout out to Playa Hayes. JPEG Mafia, that song is awesome, but I just felt like I was a little bit lackluster once I realized that JPEG was just doing like the hook. And even when you say he's doing the hook, it's a very unorthodox hook, and it wasn't something that I even realized was the hook until it just got repeated again. So the structure on that thing's interesting, but those are 2 weirdos, so why not have a little bit of fun and just go fucking for it. Blood Orange, a lot of people from what I've talked to aren't enjoying this song as much as I am. I think this song is just a great little jazzy feel to it. It really does have like this like weird cadence and interesting feel, and I feel like Blood Orange does a great job of kind of slowing the song down, and then Danny just comes in and kind of rides that same like ebbs and flows, but he also is able to peak it up, and then it comes back around with Blood Orange, just kind of leveling it back down. I just like the way that song has, like, if that song had a wavelength, like the wavelength is perfect in my opinion. Combat, another fucking fire ass song. And the only 2 songs that I really didn't shout out were Best Life, Grow on Me. Shouted that out earlier. You know what I'm saying? I already said what I feel. And then the rest of this is Theme Song. Theme Song's probably maybe the weakest song or the weakest track, but I still enjoy it. I just love this album. Overall, I think Danny Brown really does just put out hits, and really just does allow himself to put out the best possible project, the best possible masterpiece. So any like letdowns or like feeling of like just not getting enough content from this guy as like being one of his biggest fans, like in my own head, I'm able to look past that because I do trust the art, and I do trust the artist, and I do think that this is just another fucking wonderful outing for someone who is a Danny Brown fan. But if you are someone who is just finding him, and this is your first go around, I think you're going to be interested to go back and find those other albums, because this really does come across as a great amalgamation of different styles from the best parts of his previous projects. Like, I don't think he can make this album without having gone through and talk about all the pain that existed in his previous discographies. But with that being said, I do think that there is a cool level ground, like middle ground, that he could probably ride, and not just just kind of, I don't want to say he put his back to like his old styles on this thing, but there isn't as much Danny Brown isms as you would think. But he's explained that many a times, just that's not the style that he wants now. That's not who he is, and that makes perfect fucking sense. And like I said, I do appraise him for going for that, and not ever like feeling like he has to appraise a different set of people. I mean, back in the day when Old came out in 2014, that whole thing's all about people saying that they want the old Danny Brown, which is like the Danny Brown without like the crazy voice and the wildness. So like now to see a Rubber Band back, and to see it like kind of age in a different way, where it's not even like he's going back to his old styles. It's like, nah, this is a whole new style that is like an amalgamation of everything that he's learned and everything that he's done in his career. And it's probably one of my favorite career like just trajectories, and just I think Danny Brown is a special human being, and we need to protect him at all costs. So make sure that happens, or else I will be heartbroken and devastated and all the other terrible synonyms that go with that. But what did you think of this album? How has it aged? This thing's been out for over a month. It took me a minute to get it done, but heads up, this is actually the 100th review on this channel, so that was also probably another reason why it took a little bit, because I wanted to make sure I got it right, and to have it be something as special as the Danny Brown project just is like poetic as fuck. And just thank you for everybody who has pushed me to get to the point where I have 100 reviews under my belt, and I'm excited to just see where it goes. I really, really, really do want to get this stuff on Apple Music and various other audio platforms, because I do think that there is something to be said for these like short-formed, not interviews, but reviews to just kind of exist in audio form as well. So let's use this as an informal announcement. I hopefully will have something going with that soon. But again, just thanks for the ride. Thanks for being here. And thank you to Danny Brown for making a wonderful project. And yeah. Anyways, oh, and by the way, when I saw him live, he was fantastic. That was literally like one of the best shows he's ever done. And as someone who's like pushing 40, it's fantastic to see that he's like happy and lively and still just a wonderful performer and just knows how to work the room. Shout out to Z Loopers for the tickets to that show. He and I have kind of had a relationship online since like 2015. I bought like a painting off of him a long time ago for my brother, and just always been a fan of his music. So he's always been someone who's kind of just supported me in like the way background, and you know, he's seen some of the videos that I've done on his music. Go check out Wildcard, go check out Dynamite, and you know, check out his music. There's videos of his live performance on this channel, but just the Loopers is the man, so give him as much love as you possibly can. And what did you think of the Danny Brown album? Again, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for all the support. Really do appreciate all you guys. You can follow me on Twitter at YoGRRTT, YoGRRTT, Instagram as well. Now notation on those 2 platforms as well. Thank you so much. Take care of you and yours and everybody else around you, and you have a fantastic day, because that is all, folks. Check.